Hello everyone, I am Sana Kulkarni. Today again we are going to discuss the continued part of the moving charges and magnetism in this third session. So first of all, in this session we will going to discuss regarding cyclotron. Cyclotron means it is one device which is used to accelerate a positively charged particles to the higher energy levels. Means it is one device that is used to accelerate especially for the positively charged particles to the next higher energy levels or the higher energies. Then what are the positively charged particles? Already we know protons are the positively charged as well as deuterons and the alpha particles. So these are the particles which we can accelerate to the next higher energy levels that by using a cyclotron. And this cyclotron that was be invented by Lawrence as well as Livingston in 1930 to investigate the nuclear structure. To study the nuclear structure, they were invented in 1930. Similarly, in cyclotron, charged particles they will move both in electric field as well as in case of magnetic field, and both are perpendicular to the each other. So, in this cyclotron device, a charged particle it has to move in both the electric as well as magnetic field, and both electric as well as magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. Similarly, the magnetic field makes the charged particle to take a circular path, or it is moving along the circular path, and electric field helps to accelerate that charged particle. So, this point you have to remember, that is the magnetic field, because in cyclotron the charged particle it has to move in both the cases, that is electric as well as magnetic field. So, magnetic field it will helps to move the charged particle in a circular path, as well as the electric field it will helps to accelerate the charged particles. Then what principle the cyclotron that will be working? The principle behind the cyclotron is the frequency of the revolution of the charged particle in a magnetic field which is independent of its energy. So, the frequency, whatever the revolution here it will be taking place, the frequency of the revolution that is independent of energy, it is not going to depend upon the energy of that charged particle. So, this is the principle regarding the cyclotron. Next we have to move with the construction. So, in construction first you just observe the diagram. So, it consists of two hollow D-shaped metallic chambers. So, these are the D-shaped metallic chambers we are observing. These are the hollow metallic chambers, and they called it as it is D1 and D2, and generally it is called as Ds. These metallic chambers, D-shaped metallic chambers are called as Ds, and these Ds they are separated by a very small gap. Just to observe in the diagram, these Ds are separated by a very small gap, and in this small gap we have to place a positively charged particle which we have to accelerate. So, that P is nothing but our positively charged particle, in that gap only we are placing. Okay. Then these Ds generally they are connected to the high frequency oscillator, means high frequency oscillator is nothing but which will provide a electric field to accelerate that charged particle. So, these are connected to the oscillator. So, with the help of oscillator it will produces or it will gives the high frequency electric field to the across the gaps of the Ds, so that the particle that will starts to accelerate. Then similarly, the particles inside the Ds which are shielded from the electric field, but only the magnetic field will be acting inside them, and this magnetic field which will helps to take the circular path, or which will helps the particles to move in a circular orbit. So, that is nothing but here. So, inside the Ds, the D1 and D2, these are the hollow Ds with D-shaped metallic chambers. So, inside the Ds the construction it was done like that, because it will be shielded, inside that it will be shielded from electric field, but only the magnetic field which was acting over there. So, electric field helps us to accelerate, magnetic field helps the charged particle to take a circular orbit. So, in this case what happens, inside the Ds only the magnetic field will present, there will be no electric field. So, inside that all these particles that will take the circular path. Then this entire arrangement that will be placed between the two strong poles of an electromagnet. So, the second diagram also you can observe, both the diagrams are same. So, that is an internal structure and it is with a strong magnetic pole, the diagram is given. So, entirely it is kept it in a magnetic pole, that is a strong magnet or electromagnet, and these two D1 and D2s are placed and P is a positively charged particle, and entirely it is kept it in a vacuum chamber. So, this is regarding the construction of the cyclotron. So, next we will discuss regarding what is the working of this cyclotron. So, before going to that, already we know the magnetic field due to the electromagnet which is acting perpendicular to the plane of the disc. Always you take, whenever it is moving in a form of circular path, you remember this, the magnetic field which will be perpendicular to the particle. So, in this case, working condition, working first we can consider when our D2 becomes a negatively charged and D1 becomes a positively charged. So, two D1, D2s are there here, that is a two Ds. So, in that D2 first it will become a negative charge and D1 becomes a positively charged, and we are going to accelerate the positively charged particle here. P is our positively charged particle. So, of course, P is a positively charged particle, it will be attracted towards the D2 itself because D2 is a negatively charged. So, positive and negative, that will be attraction. So, automatically the charged particle, it will move towards D2. So, whenever D2 is a negatively charged and D1 is a positively charged, of course, it will accelerate towards D2 because it is a negatively charged. So, as soon as it enters a D2, it is shielded from electric field. Already we know inside that it will be shielded from electric field, but only magnetic field will act. So, because of magnetic field, what happens? Inside the D2, it moves at right angles to the magnetic field, and hence it describes the semicircle inside it. So, it will take a circular path, but here it will be going to take a semicircle path inside the D2. Similarly, after completing one semicircle or after completing the semicircle, again it enters to the gap. In between gap it will come, and once it comes to the gap, automatically the polarities of D's that will be reversed. Reversed means now D2 becomes negatively and D1, earlier D2 was negatively charged and D1 was positively charged. So, once the semicircle was completed and the positively charged particle it come back to the middle or the gap, automatically the polarities will be reversed. At that time what happens? D2 becomes a positively charged and D1 becomes a negatively charged. So, once this happens, automatically again our proton or positively charged particle, it has to accelerate towards the negatively charged particle. So, it will accelerate towards the D1. So, once it accelerates towards the D1, again it will move inside the D1. Again inside the D1 electric field is not there, it is shielded, only the magnetic field is there. So, because of magnetic field, again it will take a semicircular path, and again it come back to the, once it completes the semicircular path, again it come back to the gap, again the polarities of D's will be reversed. So, this process will be continued until the proton that will reaches the boundary, and again it will come back from the deflection plate. So, this process continuously it will observe, and once that proton is getting higher energy, of course it will come out from the deflection plate. So, this is what the working of the cyclotron. Next we will discuss what is the theory behind the cyclotron. Theory, that is when a proton moves right angles to the magnetic field, that magnetic field is B. Already we know what is the force, that is magnetic force acting. So, inside the D's the magnetic force, that is Fm is equal to, it is QVB sin theta. So, both are perpendicular means theta equal to 90 degree, therefore, it is QVB sin 90, sin 90 is 1, therefore, F is equal to, we can write it as it is QVB. Of course, it is taking a circular path means it will exhibit the centripetal force also. The centripetal force that will be given by F is equal to mv square by r. So, both the forces, we can compare both the equations. So, comparing both the equations, we are getting QVB is equal to mv square by r. From this, what is the radius of that semicircle? That r is equal to, we can write it as it is mv divided by qb. So, this is the radius. Next, what is the time taken to complete the semicircle inside the D? The time period. Time period means time taken to complete one full circle, but here it is time taken to complete the semicircle inside the D. That time taken, t is equal to, already we know it is distance divided by velocity. So, the distance, one full circle means we can take it as it is 2 pi r, but it is a semicircle means, therefore, we have written it as 1 by 2 2 pi r, means half of 2 pi r, or generally we can write it as it is pi r. 2 pi r divided by 2, 2 get cancelled, we can write it as it is pi r, or it is half 2 pi r divided by, again v is, that is velocity is as it is. So, 2 get cancelled, we are getting it as pi r divided by v. Now, we have to substitute the r value in the above equation. Therefore, we are getting it as pi by v into mv by qb is equal to, v get cancelled, we are getting it as pi m divided by qb. Then time period, that is capital T, it is a time period of the frequency of electric field. Then the polarities of D will change after the time t by 2. So, t is replaced by t by 2 here, therefore, t by 2 is nothing but t, that t is nothing but pi m divided by qb, or generally capital T is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. This is what the time period. Then the cyclotron frequency, we can write it as it is nu c is equal to 1 over t. Generally frequency we can write it as nu, but nu c we have taken, it is nothing but the cyclotron frequency is equal to 1 over t, that will be given by qb divided by 2 pi m. And cyclotron angular frequency, that we can write it as it is omega is equal to 2 pi by t. So, omega is equal to 2 pi by t, or we can write it as it is 2 pi nu c, or therefore, omega is becomes, it is 2 pi, instead of nu c you have to substitute the value, it is qb divided by 2 pi m. So, 2 pi get cancelled, we are getting it as qb divided by m. So, this is regarding the theory of the cyclotron, that is energy gained by a positively charged particle in a cyclotron, that will be given by the kinetic energy is equal to half m v square. And from equation 1 we have to substitute the value of v, that value of the equation 1 is equal to what, r is equal to mv divided by qb. So, now from this what is v is equal to, v is equal to qbr divided by m. So, just you substitute the value here, therefore, kinetic energy is equal to half m, instead of v just you replace it as qbr divided by m the whole square. So, this equal to the kinetic energy, that will become now q square b square r square, 1 m get cancels, remaining 1 m is there, that is divided by 2 m. Then maximum kinetic energy which will be gained by the positively charged particle, that only depend upon the radius. Whenever the radius is maximum, we are getting the kinetic energy maximum. So, kinetic energy maximum is equal to q square b square divided by 2 m, as it is r square must be the maximum. So, once it is covering a maximum radius, automatically the kinetic energy also becomes maximum. So, this is regarding the theory of the cyclotron. Next, we can discuss regarding what are the uses of the cyclotron. So, it is used, already we know it is used to produce the high energy charged particles which are used to study the nuclear reaction. So, it is used to produce high energy charged particle, means the positively charged particle you have to accelerate to the higher energy to study the nuclear reactions. Similarly, it is used to produce the high energy charged particles which are used to produce other high energy charged particles such as neutrons by collision. And these fast neutrons, already we have studied in nuclei, these are the fast neutrons which are used in the nuclear reactor. So, to produce the high fast neutrons also we can use this cyclotrons. Similarly, it is used to implant the ions into solids and modify their properties or even synthesizes the new materials. And it is used to produce radioactive isotopes which are used in the hospitals as well as in diagnosing the and that for the treatment purpose also. And next we can study what are the limitations of this cyclotron. So, limitations means we can't accelerate the electrons here, it cannot be used to accelerate the electron because electron is a negatively charged. Our cyclotron is only for the purpose of positively charged particles. Similarly, it cannot be used to accelerate the particles, the neutral particles such as neutrons. So, these are the two disadvantages of cyclotron, and the uses means we have to use it to for the produce higher energy particles for the nuclear reactor and to produce fast neutrons also. Similarly, to synthesize the new materials by an solids as well as modify their properties with the help of modifying their properties, and similarly it will be used to produce a diagnosing as well as treatment purpose they will use. So, this is regarding the cyclotron.